Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our entitled parents. In today's episode, entitled Aunt and Thanksgiving. My family doesn't like me and I don't like them either. Mom threatening to kick me out. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled Aunt and Thanksgiving. This story is about Aunt Karen, not her real name, and how she ruined Thanksgiving 2023 for me and my parents, and why we will never be spending Thanksgiving with her again. For some background, I am not very close with any of my relatives on my dad's side. Aunt Karen is my dad's sister who lives in Florida. About 10 years ago, when I was 14, we spent Thanksgiving at my aunt's house. I don't remember much about it. I spent most of the day with my cousins having a decently good time, but the end result was that my mom made my dad promise to never spend Thanksgiving with my aunt again. As you can guess, that lasted a decade until 2023 when something happened. My grandmother, my father's mother, had her 80th birthday on Thanksgiving, and my mom agreed to go down to celebrate with my grandmother, who is a very wonderful person we don't get to see very much since she moved down to Florida herself. Part of this celebration had my mother convincing me to bake something for my grandmother as a gift, since baking is my hobby and I like to make things for people. I made her a key lime pie from scratch since key lime is her favorite. I also made chocolate chip cookies to bring in general since they're probably my most popular thing I make. Now, before we even arrived at Karen's house, my mom was already annoyed with her because the week before, she and my dad had gone down to Florida with another one of my aunts to surprise my grandmother as an early birthday gift, a nice dinner out with just adults, no grandkids. Keep in mind that my family lives in SC, 2 states away from Florida, and my other aunt lives all the way up in Pennsylvania. They all managed to make it, and they invited Karen along for the surprise. Karen promised to go, since she lived only 2 hours away. Then she bailed last second. She didn't even apologize or explain why, she just bailed. My mom, dad, and other aunts surprised my grandma themselves, and my grandma was very happy with said surprise and a little sad that Karen didn't make it. Anyway, we arrived at Karen's house and she had her new boyfriend over for Thanksgiving. He was actually pretty nice, but we hadn't known he would be there until that morning, and my sister and I aren't good with strangers. I'm on the spectrum and my sister is very introverted. So I just awkwardly talked about how I brought cookies and set them on the counter. I'm always anxious for feedback on my baking, which definitely feeds into how this story goes. So I was watching for people trying the cookies and asking how they were. Karen was arguing with her daughter, who was actually pretty nice too, as she cooked the rest of Thanksgiving dinner. My parents helped out and my sister and I stayed out of the way. Dinner went okay. The real problem came with dessert time. My family had brought 3 pies plus the cookies and sweet potato souffle, which is one of my favorite dishes that my mom makes. We brought them because my grandmother asked us to bring the desserts for Thanksgiving with the expectation that we'd have all the desserts while my aunt made the dinner. Come time for dessert and my aunt brings out this huge pie and a cake for my grandmother, announcing that she saw the pie recipe on TikTok and just had to make it. My grandmother ate the pie my aunt made and didn't even touch the key lime pie I made for her. It really hurt my feelings and I felt like I was going to cry, even though my aunt's boyfriend tried it and said it was absolutely amazing. My mom was fuming too, which is why I don't think she said anything when I excused myself to the den for the rest of the night. I curled up on the couch with Karen's dog and put on my headphones, hiding and preparing for the drive back home. Needless to say, I talked to my parents about it later and they agreed that now, for real, we were never going to spend Thanksgiving with Karen again. Not after that stunt she pulled. They also said I should try to make the pie again another time for my grandmother, but I don't know if I want to. Sorry, it's nothing big or overdramatic, but it was just an experience I felt like I needed to write about. OP, please do not confuse your feelings towards your aunt with your feelings towards your grandmother. Your aunt's behavior was out of line. and she deserves your contempt. But your grandmother did nothing wrong. When you get a chance, make her a key lime pie. Enjoy that time with her. If Anne is there, make sure that you announce the pie to your grandmother. Make sure that she knows it's there. Consider telling her that you made her one for tea day and that your aunt refused to serve it. This could well be bad advice, so talk to your parents first. I will try to make her one next time I see her. I'm so sorry. That sucks. But do please make another pie for your grandma. Don't not do it and regret it later when she is gone. I'll try to, next time I see her. Dunno when that will be, though. Your pie didn't get thrown in the trash, did it? I get being proud of the pie you made and that you made it with love for your grandma. But why not send it home with grandma and tell her that you made it especially for her? Did grandma even know you made a pie for her? No, it didn't get thrown away, but my grandma only took the apple pie my mom made home. I tried to give it to her, but she didn't take it. To be honest, too many people on this sub get wound up, doing things like vowing to forever break contact with relatives over things like a pie or a birthday cake. There are far more serious events in life than that. I've had my share. And if my contribution to a dinner was snubbed, I'd stick in the fridge with a note on top saying, "From Carmium," and forget about it. Yeah, I'd be miffed. Who wouldn't be? But it's not worth your mental health to cut off family unless they are intolerable in other ways. There's a lot of stuff with my aunt that I don't know about because I personally haven't had much contact over the years. I just know that my parents have gone LC with her over the years. Did your aunt know that your grandmother asked you to bring dessert? If I was hosting, I wouldn't expect people to show up with anything. My family doesn't like me and I don't like them either. My mother and her parents are pure perfectionists, but only those that expect perfection from other people, not from themselves. They are not snobs, have very little money. Therefore, I support them and all either have or had in the past a massive alcohol problem. I am chaotic. I have children and my husband has a great job and so do I. We have good money. I don't care about no toys in the living room. I don't care about washing dishes right after you have eaten. I don't care about looking perfect when I go out to pick up my kids from creche. As long as I don't look like I've just woken up, it's good enough for me. My family, however, requires perfection of me. Have things lying around? I'm lazy and my husband will leave me. Don't have makeup on? I'm letting myself go and they can't believe I am so weak. They actually never call over, criticize me based on pictures, and when I call over, because they expect me to, I get criticized about what a shitty guest I am and an awfully raised person. They all blame each other then for raising me poorly. You think my mother would defend me? Negative. She's rather eat her own legs than say a good word about me. Last week, after 15 years, I went to visit my grandfather. We drive 16 hours, 8 there and 8 back. Pregnant, with a toddler, and while working in home office and while in a moving process. We spend €500 on hotels. Do you know what I got when I left? Criticism. Again. I didn't stay long enough. I didn't bring him a gift. I was slightly late. And of course, I didn't eat what he cooked and how poorly I'm raised. Oh, and I got fat. Fat. I am pregnant. And I'm dealing with nausea. They know that. I didn't eat because I couldn't. I am so sick of even stressing so much about it. Is anyone else dealing with anything like this? How do you cope? I would recommend cutting off these relationships since your family do not in any way respect you. If you're supporting them financially, yet they still treat you this badly, it's a sign they will never change. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. You're right, they don't love me at all. Why keep holding on to that? I'd cope by cutting them out and not giving them another dime. I can only imagine how insufferable the person was who started the trend that we must tolerate abuse and belligerence from relatives for the sake of family. Which do you prefer? My financial support or shutting up? They don't see it that way. They see it as a payback for raising me and how much I cost them. My mom blames me for all her health issues because I was a difficult teenager. She says supporting her now is the least I can do. I can't deal with any of them anymore. I am gonna have to get the strength somehow to block them all out of my life. I would cope by laying down the law, boundaries if you prefer. Be very clear about what kinds of crap you will not put with anymore, and the consequences of them violating the law or boundaries. And enforce the consequences. That's very important for the next time, if there is one. If you're strong enough to be a mother and a wife, you're strong enough to go no contact with these people who do nothing but criticize and put you down. I am told motherhood is a very trying experience. You have to have the patience of a saint and the will of steel. So if you can keep up with a child, run your household, have time for your husband, then you have the strength to cut your other family off completely. Mom threatening to kick me out. All because I questioned where my money is going and how much I have. She controls my finances because she is worried I will spend it all, and because I need to save up for a car. I thought I had enough last night, but it turns out I don't, only having $15K instead of $30K like my bank says. I thought I would be able to buy a car, but I was wrong. Honestly, my issue is that I'm an adult yet I'm not treated like one. I can't have a debit/credit card. Don't know where my mom puts the money she withdraws from my account. Only get $20 every 2 weeks and has to ask my mom for more. It just sucks, and now my mom's threatening to kick me out knowing I don't make enough to do that. All because I questioned where she puts my money. She thinks I think she's stealing it, which I don't. I just don't know what she is doing with it. I've been working hard and never see any of it. She says I should be grateful because I would have less if it weren't for her not making me pay rent, etc. Like, yes, I'm grateful for that, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to see the money I make. Pull all your money and make an account she can't steal from. She absolutely is stealing it. I second this. Why would she get mad/defensive if she wasn't stealing it? If you are an adult, get your own bank account she has no access to. If you are capable of saving that much, you can afford to move out. She has complete control of your money, as in you can't access any of it. Forget the car, $15K is more than enough for you to get out of there. So if you can take that money, do it and leave right now. Try to get any important personal documents first. If you can't take the money because she controls it, call a lawyer and you take her to court. If you're in the US, she can't kick you out without notice. If you're not in the US, that's something else to talk to a lawyer about. Don't wait another day. Don't keep arguing with her. You're being financially abused, as well as manipulated and gaslit. God knows what else. You need to take control of your life immediately. Yeah, sure, a kid is totally going to be able to afford a lawyer for this situation. Totally possible. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.